Welcome to Emotional Storytelling and Vision Building. This topic is designed to help you transform the planning conversation into something your prospects actually feel. When you share stories with emotional resonance and help clients see their future clearly, well, you move from being just another advisor to becoming their guide. Today, we'll explore how storytelling, metaphor, and vivid language can really help prospects visualize success and take action. Our brains are wired for story. Data may inform, but stories move people. So people find feelings, not facts. So you want to use relatable, emotionally charged stories to inspire actions. Stories activate imagination and trust. You have lots of stories to draw from, whether they're your own stories, colleague stories, stories you read about. They don't have to be personal stories. They just have to be stories that make a point and resonate. The key is to help clients see themselves in the narrative. That's why phrases like just like you is a powerful way to begin a client story that draws them in. Let's look at what makes a story emotionally sticky. A good client story has a struggle, a turning point, and a transformation. Sound familiar? Every popular movie has that type of thing. Some kind of, problem, some kind of evil or villain or challenge to overcome. There's a turning point, there's a crisis, and then, oh, a happy ending, right? So there's a challenge, there's a decision, there's a result. Use real client outcomes with anonymity, right? And don't just say they saved on taxes, and say they stopped worrying about retirement and finally booked that Tuscany trip, right? You want to paint with feeling. Anchor results in emotion, not just money. Okay. Want to take this even further? Start building a vision. A vision is greater than a plan. Advisors often talk about what they can do. Great advisors talk about why it matters. So paint that after picture, that just imagine moment. Ask, what would this allow you to do? When you connect your recommendation to a vivid vision of your client's future, you tap into desire. Absolutely imperative. You tie a recommendation to a desired lifestyle. You're connecting the dots here. Okay? Metaphors make this real and memorable. So metaphors break down resistance. Retirement is like building a house, right? Or retirement planning or your financial plan is your GPS, right? We can reroute anytime, but you need a destination. This simplifies the abstract and creates emotional stickiness. Investing is like planting a tree, right? You can use a visual or a whiteboard to enhance that impact. Metaphors simplify complexity. Now, let's explore language patterns that really draw people in. So, words that create vision. Imagine if. How would it feel to? What would change if this? When you ask those questions, that person is experiencing that future moment in the present. That is very powerful. These openers create those little mental movies. So when you ask something like, how would it feel to have absolute confidence that you could retire at age 60? That person is thinking about that, feeling that, right? Now they're not just thinking about a plan, they're feeling their future. And these phrases lead prospects into possibility. That's the great motivator here, is what is possible. Now let's talk about tone and delivery. Delivery matters, right? It's not just about the videos, the visuals, the context. The delivery makes absolute, what's the right word? It just brings it all together. Rushing through a powerful story robs it of its impact. So slow down to emphasize key points. Pause after emotional phrases. Let it sink in. Use that silence to let emotions land, right? Just let silence hang there. Drop your tone to land the message, but speak with warmth and not like you're pitching, right? This shows confidence and compassion, and it really signals the client towards what they should be feeling. So how do you know if this is working? Look for these clues. Your client nods and leans in or gets emotional. They ask, what's the next step? You hear, oh, that sounds like us. Emotional storytelling shifts the energy in the room. If they lean in, if they share vulnerability or say, that's exactly how I feel or we feel, you're doing it right. People want to be seen, heard, and understood. That is a clear indication that they feel heard and understood. So, how do you plan for this? Well, build a story bank, right? Keep that story bank of client wins and emotional breakthroughs. Collect at least 5 transformation stories that are varied, different situations, right? Sometimes a couple, sometimes a single person, maybe a couple that's older, maybe a couple that's younger. Like, try to cover your bases here. And when relevant, you can say, I worked with somebody in a similar situation. That makes your advice real. And practice these stories until they feel natural. So practice retelling with emotional detail. You really should have a story that reflects every possible recommendation and outcome that you could possibly discuss. Keep examples for those things. As I said, retirement, tax, legacy, debt, estate planning, unexpected life events, you name it. You got to have a story for each one of those. And try to pick a really moving one, right? One that really speaks to the importance of whatever that recommendation is. So here's that storytelling checklist. Did I invoke motion when I told that story? Did they visualize success? Did they see themselves in the story? It would be amazing is if you could somehow set up a camera, right? If in an in-person meeting that was looking towards the client and behind the client, and watch it after, see your cues, see their cues, and see where that connection was made. Anyway, use this mental checklist during consultations. If you hit these notes, you're guiding the client towards a decision that feels personal and clear. Remember, the facts tell, but the story sells. This is all about story selling. So here's the summaries and takeaways. Emotion drives decisions, not logic. Story and vision equal connection and clarity. Paint their future with language and presence. This is more than just storytelling. It's about leadership. When you help clients feel their future and believe in it, you empower them to act. Use emotion, metaphor, and vision to guide them towards clarity and confidence. Don't forget, this course comes with a full resource library. In addition to these worksheets, head to the classroom section where you'll find guides, templates, and scripts. Use these tools. They're designed to make your job easier and your results stronger. Let's keep building from here.